If you ride around the Bay Run on a regular basis, you would have noticed the work that was done to the seawall near the UTS Rowing Club in Haberfield last year. I thought this was going to be a good thing because the path between the rowing club and where it goes under the old Lilyfield Road Bridge has long been a disaster area. The path is way too narrow in places for the foot and bicycle traffic that it has to carry these days, and the surface has deteriorated quite badly in spots so that it is lumpy, bumpy and simply unpleasant to ride on. Another bit of work that the Inner West Council did last year was to upgrade the path that runs alongside the Hawthorn Canal, and they upgraded it all the way from Marion Street to the Lilyfield Road Bridge. It's now wide and relatively smooth and much nicer to ride on than the old path. I thought that when Council decided to refurbish the seawall, one of the tasks they would have required of the contractor would be to replace the manky section of path along this stretch with something similar to what we now have alongside the Hawthorn Canal. Well, I was wrong. The construction fencing has been taken away and the detour removed, but we're still stuck with the same old path that is largely rubbish. It's particularly bad near the Lilyfield Road Bridge because it's not only narrow and horrible, it's also skirted by tall, overgrown vegetation that completely blocks your sight lines around the bend. It's really well set up for creating head-on collisions. I did wonder if the contractor was going to be coming back to build a new path, but I had a look at the original tender and found that won't be happening anytime soon. The tender specifies the construction of a seawall, including rock revetments, seawall steps and salt marsh berms, and associated demolition, earthworks, stormwater works and landscaping. I guess they forgot to include demolition of the existing path and its replacement with something fit for purpose, especially since heavy equipment was driven up and down the path, which probably didn't do it much good. Now maybe Council has plans to replace this section of path under a different project that they'll be going ahead with in 2022, but I don't have the time to search their capital works proposals to see if it's listed. If you know anything about it, leave a comment. Perhaps it's just me, but if I was running things, I would have replaced the path once the seawall work was complete. After all, if you're going to go to all the trouble of closing the path and creating diversions and frustrating users, you might as well use that closure to replace a terrible path with a good path all in one go. When the work is complete, pedestrians and runners and cyclists would say, "Wow, this new section of path is great. Well done, Council." Instead, they're left saying, "You detoured us for months and you did nothing to improve our experience. You guys really don't think things through, do you?" Although, of course, there might have been budget issues and they couldn't find the money to redo the path, or the seawall work was funded by the state or federal government and they didn't fund the path renewal because they expected Council to contribute the funds to do that part, or they thought the path was fine and didn't need any work. Or the land that the path is on belongs to some other authority and it's not the Council's job to fix it. Whatever, I don't know. But if Council do replace this section of path in 2022, they're going to have to close it all over again for a period of time. If that does happen, then questions really need to be asked about how departments within Council coordinate their activities or manage their budgets. I'm guessing that if this work was done as 2 projects rather than 1, it's going to end up costing ratepayers a lot more. Anyway, I'm a bit miffed that Council went to all the trouble to refurbish this area and then didn't bother to upgrade the path to the same standard as the rest of the Bay Run. It just doesn't make sense. Let me know in the comments what you think of all that.